I see you brought a friend to today's episode. What's going on?
Hi, this is my friend Jill. Jill and I have been friends since high school, and we have been, chatting on and off about certain topics. And I thought that the most recent topic we've been discussing, which is a topic on a lot of women our age's minds, is menopause, but we were discussing it in more of a positive light than all of the negative symptoms and worries and woes and all of that. But we've been chatting about it as more of isn't this interesting that we've gotten to this stage in our lives and we should be thinking of it more as a new beginning than and less of an end.
I love it. Welcome to the show, Jill. So I've met other Jills before, and most often the other Jill I meet is with a G. So it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. You're
I go
Jill with a
by, it's Jill with a J, and my name is Jill. It's not Jillian. I think my mom intended it to be Jillian, but forgot to fill out the paperwork correctly. So
That's awesome. Well, people call me Jill too, so I'm Jill.
wonderful. I love
Yeah.
the topic. And when I heard you were going to be on the show to talk about this particular subject, I thought it would be a really great conversation because I do think that there are lots of wonderful things that we go through as we mature. I'm trying to think of, nice words. You know, we did have a conversation about, and Diane likened it to caterpillar soup, which I didn't think was particularly friendly, although it is it is a metamorphosis per se. But
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your perspective on, the going through this period in a woman's life and how we are reinventing ourselves.
Hmm. For myself personally, having the time to focus on what I want to do with my time is lovely. Just feeling reborn, like revisiting old passions. Photography is a big one for me. Just being able to get outside and walk or do my gardening or do painting. These are things that kind of were shelved, right, for many years.
Mhm.
As we're raising the kids and working and doing all that. Like now I feel like, okay, I have to learn basically, like I'm being reborn. I have to learn how to be myself again, right? And so for me, it's like, okay, I'm discovering what I used to love to do, but now I have the time to really explore it. And I have a little bit more money as well, now that I'm older, to explore the things that, make me happy. And what is it that I want to do with my time, right? Because I don't want to be an empty nester, you know, crying, oh, my kids are gone and all that stuff. I want to say, okay, I love my kids, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to have the time to say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to grab a coffee, and I'm going to drive 10 miles and go do a photo shoot on my own. Or, like these are the things that I think we're being reborn. The whole caterpillar soup thing is like, we've disintegrated. And now, like, have we lost our purpose? Have we lost our way? No, we're actually reforming into this beautiful, majestic menopausal butterfly. You know what
I
I
love
mean?
it. Love
And
it.
Yeah.
so that's my take on it. I don't know what you girls are feeling. I mean, like, I'm sure both of you have rediscovered things that you have loved to do before that you maybe didn't have time before, like when you were raising your children.
Yeah, you do put a lot to the wayside when you're in that sort of young mom phase. And it is really all about the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, trying to get ahead, trying to get ahead, trying to stay afloat sometimes, depending on what your
Yeah,
financial situation is.
that's right.
And then to get to our stage in life now, where you're right, we do have more dispensable time and dispensable income. And we
Mm,
should be taking it as an opportunity to go back to what makes Diane happy instead of what does
mhm.
Diane have to do to make everybody else happy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. And I think you reach a point, and we've talked about this before, where you know what you want, you know who you are, and you know what you like and what you don't. And you have now that opportunity to choose, whether it's refocusing on a passion that maybe you didn't have time during your 30s and 40s to really focus on because you were raising kids or maybe trying to build out your career. But, for me, I'm going to talk about my garden because this is something that for me is a new passion. I did start gardening when I was in my 20s, but I just didn't have time for it because of the kids, because of the career. But now I do, and I have the space to do it. And it really is a hobby and a passion that I enjoy. Plus, it allows me to use my technology because, of course, AI helps me with my gardening. So,
Love
That
that.
sounds so bizarre to me. AI helps me with my gardening. It sounds almost like an oxymoron, just doesn't compute. But I get how it does because we've had that discussion before as well, laying out proper beds and all of that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
yeah.
I use it to redecorate rooms. I mean, I just take a photo of my room and I say, okay, what would look good here? And then it'll send you back a picture. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
it
thing
is a
with the
good
garden.
tool.
It is. I'm not scared of it. I know so many people are like, ew, AI, and I'm like, nah, bring it on. Whatever makes my life easier. you know?
That's the
Yeah.
thing. If it saves you time, and it
Yeah.
does definitely save time. And we're
Yeah.
all kind of coming into that whole, what do you want to spend your time on? So the more of
Mhm,
it you can save not doing tedious tasks, the more of
mhm.
it you can use doing what you actually want to spend your time on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Were you into photography before and gave it up, Jillian, or have you always been doing it throughout your career or life?
Yeah, I have been doing it for over 20 years, but before when I began, it was as a hobby. It was a passion. I just had a blog and I was blogging and it was all about the photography and just little anecdotes or musings and, paired with photos. And then, just life got too busy and I found I was put and I had
Mhm.
nothing left at the end of the day, right? I just, by the time I was done, I was like, okay, I've got time for, oh, I'm so tired. I think I'll go to bed now,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I sort of, I schedule my day. I work from home now. So I schedule my day in a way that I can start my day with my passions if I want, and I can work later on. You know what I mean? I can work up to midnight if I want to. I don't have to be 9 to 5, which is very good. I still do the hours. I just have a little more flexibility. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
Mm.
the photography thing went by the wayside, but then recently I have picked it up again. So I'm very happy to be doing that. It's just it takes you out of your head. It's like any hobby, right? If it's a distraction from well, it's better than doing, destructive things, self-destructive things. I try to channel my energy into doing creative pursuits now, whereas before I might have been doing other things that weren't as good for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Diane, do you have any hobbies or things that you've worked on and that you've maybe put aside because of motherhood
Oh
or job?
gosh. Yeah, all of it. I haven't painted anything in a million years, I think. And I do have an easel actually. I asked for one for, I can't remember if it was Mother's Day or a birthday or something a few years ago. And the family chipped in and got me a really nice easel and some canvas and a whole bunch of paints. And I just haven't actually set them up. But I feel like you were saying, Jill, I got to get back to doing what actually makes me happy instead of now that we have the time that we're not making everybody else happy. It's a good idea to
Yeah.
get into those pursuits. I started writing a little bit. I have to get back to that as well. What I have to do is focus. Who can help me with focus? So I do tend to start little projects and then squirrel, something will distract me and I'll start another little project and none of them have so far been completed. But yeah, I do. I love to paint. I love to write. There's many, many things that I should be doing with my time rather than sitting on the couch covered in dogs in my pajamas, which is what I spend a lot of my free time doing.
I can
Nothing wrong with
totally
that.
understand that though. Like you get to a point where you work so hard, and I know you do, and you are literally a caregiver. Like literally, that is your job. You're caring for other people, you're helping other people. And when you finish that for the day, the last thing you want to do is to talk to people, to care for
Yeah.
people. You just want to be blanketed in dogs with
Yes.
nobody around.
I do actually.
If that makes you happy, then that is exactly what you should be doing.
Yeah. I think my favorite part about this whole menopause thing is literally the not giving a shit anymore. And I don't mean to sound rude by that. Like, not that I don't give a shit about other people's feelings or anything. It's that I don't give a shit if I look like crap on camera. I don't give a shit if it's Saturday morning and I got to go to the grocery store. Do you remember being in your 20s and 30s and you wouldn't set foot out of the house without a full face of makeup on and, matchy down to the shoes and purse and all of that nonsense? It was so time consuming. I don't know how we ever got out of the house in our 20s. I really
Crazy
don't.
time.
Yeah. It was hours of prep work just to leave the house. That's
Because nobody
another.
else cares.
Right,
Nobody
exactly.
else cares. Only you care.
Exactly. So why were we doing that?
Right.
We already pretty much had our spouses or partners or whatever by then. So it wasn't that we were, trying to attract a mate, as they say. It was just a keeping up of appearances kind of thing. But I do legitimately remember having to spend a good 40 minutes to an hour before leaving the house on any given day, whether I was going to work or just going to the grocery store. And that is so freeing to just literally not give a shit. Wake up in the morning, throw on track pants, throw on a t-shirt, maybe a bra, depending on whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Likely not.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Bra.
maybe.
You know,
And then just going out and doing whatever you have to do and coming back, and that's it.
on
Getting
the
back
flip
into your
side of that
comfies.
too, you could also not care, but there's also days when you want to dress however you want, even if it's crazy, like dopamine dressing, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
just do something wild with your hair, wear a comfortable dress, a funky purse, whatever. Like it's also that like don't care attitude goes the other way as well. Like
Yeah.
do people find this fashionable? I don't care, I love it, like whatever makes me happy now, right?
Yeah.
Dressing
Definitely.
up or dressing down is a totally personal decision now, whereas before it was like, what are they going to think? Oh my god, you
Yeah.
know who cares?
Yeah. Spent far
Yeah.
too much time caring about that.
Who cares what they
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. There are days when I think, you know, I think to your point, Jill, like, there are days when I do like to dress up because it makes me feel good, whether it's putting on a business suit, which I kind of miss because I also work from home and I miss getting dressed up and putting on a power suit and the heels and walking into a meeting and feeling really good and really confident. So
Mm.
there is that opposite that happens as well. No slight at all for those who want to wear athleisure every day, which is a very good thing for sure. But I agree with you, Jill, that sometimes you want to wear something that makes you feel good, not just comfortable, but something that really makes you feel good. And I think
Yeah.
that is a freeing thing. It's probably
Mhm.
true for every woman at every stage of their life and career, but I do think that the older you get, when you reach a point in your life where you've said, Diane, you kind of reach that I don't give a shit. If I
Yeah.
want to wear a power suit to the grocery store, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I do actually. I quite like that. Even when I'm in sweats at the grocery store, if I see one of those ladies that is like 70 something and on her own and is put together to the nines, love that. Love that. And at every opportunity, I will compliment somebody who is looking fabulous at the grocery store. Like, love the shoes, love the purse, love the look. Good for you. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that's a lovely thing for them to hear. But you can tell they're not doing it for the likes. They're not on social media. They're not taking their photos. they're
Doing it
at
for
the grocery
themselves.
store, they're looking good
Mhm.
and feeling good about it, and good for them. Maybe I'll get to that point in my 70s where I don't give a shit in that direction and I'm fully decked out head to toe by then. Because then you
Yeah.
really do have all the
Caftans,
time in the world. What
caftans,
caftans?
muumuus.
Yeah. That's so funny you should say that, Jill, because my grandmother on my mom's side, my mom's mom, would absolutely be decked out. She had the red purse and the red kitten heels and the red lipstick, so the lips were like
Mhm.
whoosh, and the hair was always coiffed just perfectly.
Yeah,
And she rocked it. And she was in her 70s, probably pushing 80s when she was like decked out. And I was young. I'm like, wow, grandma, you look hot. Like that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Good for
Amen.
her.
The Pinterest boards that I follow, I have pretty much everyone's over 60 or 70. So I follow a lot of older women's styles because I love how much freedom there is with it, right?
Yeah.
They don't have rules anymore. They just wear what they love. And they look amazing. Like these are some high fashion mamas and they're older than us. And I think this is what I aspire to. I don't want to
Yeah.
look like Kylie Jenner. You know what I mean?
No.
You allowed to say that? I don't
Yes, you
want
are.
to,
Yep.
we don't want to look like that, right? Like we're
No.
50, I'm pushing 60. We don't want to look 20. I think that's the
No.
most ridiculous thing ever, right?
Yeah.
We've earned this place in our life. This is an
Yep.
honor. It's an absolute honor to be here and have all this decision making power now, right?
Yeah.
We definitely don't need to be victims of the mass marketing that we're seeing out there with all the stuff, the Botox and the, you
Oh,
know, all the crap.
yeah.
No offense if anyone here does Botox. I'm just saying that's a personal choice too, right?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
each to their own, right?
Yeah, if it makes you feel good, it makes you feel good. I agree though. I think that the whole aging with grace is far more freeing in my opinion for me. I love the, Helen Mirrens and Jamie Lee Curtis's and still
Mhm.
rocking it and still looking fab, but naturally so. Clean living, I'm sure, is a good chunk of that. And, probably the personal trainer and the, the makeup artist and hair squad. But, realistically, there are people out there that are living well and looking fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you ladies feel really at this age is part of that metamorphosis that really is different from when you were younger?
Hmm. Not people pleasing as much, I think. I spent a lot of time, and I don't know if it was a self-esteem thing or if it was just that I hadn't come into my own yet, but I spent a lot of time being super non-confrontational and just trying to make everybody else happy whenever possible. I'm
Mhm.
still a little non-confrontational. It gives me a bit of anxiety if I have to actually have a legit confrontation with somebody. And that's usually only, customer service of some sort or another. Not that I'm a full-blown Karen, but if it applies and it needs to be taken care of, I no longer hand the phone to somebody else and say, "Oh, you take care of this because I can't possibly, stand my ground with somebody
Mhm.
on the line that I've never met or never will see again." But I've gotten to that. That's another part of the I don't give a shit business is not having to make everybody around me happy because they were never ever going to be. That was an unsustainable goal in life. So
For
I've
sure.
let go of that entirely.
Oh
But
yes, it was. You were responsible for everyone's happiness. You know that.
I failed, Jill. I failed.
Damn it. Damn it.
Damn it. But yeah, it's a good chunk of just finding yourself, I think, and figuring out that wasn't really part of my personality. That was just a something I projected on myself that was supposed to be my role somehow. And I don't know whether that comes from family dynamic with siblings or where that comes from, but it's been completely let go. So I do try my very best to make people around me comfortable just because that's I think what we should all strive for. Nobody should feel uncomfortable if there isn't a need for it, but it's not my job anymore to make everybody around me happy. And that is very freeing. It gives me a lot more time and space in my own head. And there's a lot of baggage that gets dropped off and never picked up again when you figure stuff like that out. So there's epiphanies that come along with this whole aging thing. The whole being unappreciated, taken for granted, all of the things that I've pretty much put on myself, but got to a point before this stage, like before the caterpillar soup stage where we're coming out on the other end. I guess as a caterpillar going into the chrysalis, I kind of figured out that I had some, I don't know about a resentment maybe for things that nobody asked me to do. You know what I mean? I put myself in that position of being the constant caregiver, meal prepper, taking care of all the household things. But that was my projection of what my job was. I didn't ever actually have to be 100% responsible for that. So it's unfair of me to be resentful of the fact that I did that for all of that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody else feel that?
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Well, it's boundaries, right? And just
Yeah.
not taking on stuff that you were never asked to take on.
Yes.
For me, it's oversharing. I used to just blab, if someone wanted answers or was asking personal questions, I would just tell them. I would tell them stuff. And now I just think, yeah, you don't need to know that. You don't have access to me that deeply. You know what I mean? Like, we get
Yeah.
stronger that way as we get a bit older. We know our limitations and we don't overshare, with the right
Yeah.
people we can and do when we feel comfortable and we'd have the trust. But I think when we're younger, we tend to just put ourselves out there way too much,
Yeah.
And now it's like, now I'm going to keep some of this good stuff for me because I don't give it away for free, like that
Yeah.
just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. It's
With
true.
friends, like,
Of course.
it's give and take. We're doing a little dance here. We're sharing stuff, and that's different.
It is
But
different.
I'm just talking about in general. Like, I also feel like my social presence online has changed since I've matured and become this new person. You sometimes see these memories come up on Facebook. You're like, I can't believe I fucking put that on the internet. Like, delete, like,
Yeah.
10 years ago, I was complaining about such and such. And it's like, oh God, you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You're like, I am not that person now. Like, the person who put that out there is she's gone.
No longer. She is no
I
longer.
got this bitch now.
Well, it's interesting you should say that because I think that's part of the aging process as well, is the level of knowledge and maturity that you gain as you get older. I think for me, one of the things that I'm really enjoying is knowing what I know and how smart I am and what I've learned. Whereas if you're in your 20s and 30s, you're still discovering. You're not really sure about certain things. A lot of things are new. When you reach a certain age, this knowledge and experience is something that you've gained, and it gives you and comfort and confidence, I guess, to be who you are. But I also, the opposite is true. I'm never going to be, I don't have to worry about being the smartest person in the room anymore. I know I'm smart, but I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. I don't need to be the
Yes.
funniest person in the
Yes.
room.
That's
I don't
right.
need to have all the answers, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to be, you know, it's kind of like your point, Diane, like you don't have to worry about other people anymore.
Yeah.
You just have to worry about yourself and if you're happy. And I'm okay not having all the answers and making mistakes and screwing up my garden and busting my knee and
I
It's
love
fun
not
knowing
being the
everything.
smartest person in the room.
It's fun
I
knowing that because then you get to learn everything.
Exactly. It is. It's great to not be the smartest person in the room. It is, because that's where you learn the most. I remember my dad playing chess with his friend Lenny across the street. Lenny kicked his ass every single time they played. And my dad's a pretty competitive guy. So I often said to him, like, you go over there, you lose every time. What's fun about that? And he said, oh no, I'm learning so much. Eventually,
Yeah.
I will get good enough to have my turn to beat Lenny, but it's the only way that you're
Yeah.
ever going to get good enough is by being with people that are better than you at something, right? So not being the smartest, not being the funniest, all of those things, it's a great position to be in.
But also owning what you do know and what you are good at, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
for
got to
sure.
own that shit. Like, you really got to feel comfortable in what you are capable of. Let go
Mhm.
of the shit that you're not good at, and that's okay. But also be comfortable in the stuff that you are good at.
Mm.
I think is another thing, right? Like, people, especially women, they're like, "Oh, thanks so much. It was the team. I got lucky, whatever." No, no.
No,
I'm
no.
fucking smart. Like, I know what I'm doing.
For you,
Yeah,
Jill.
just learning to say thank you without self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That only comes with knowledge and wisdom, right? Like,
Mhm.
years of knowledge and experience. That's how you,
Absolutely.
which, if I could just say one thing, I feel strongly that we're losing the 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 acknowledgement of our elders, people who were smart, who gained the knowledge through life experience. I am seeing too much that is becoming a deficit. I was, on, excuse me for the rant, but I was
Yeah,
on
good.
LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn there was this conversation about how it's difficult for people to find a job, and especially for those who are of a certain age, this whole idea of ageism, and people are removing their years of experience from their resume because of the ageism, and they see it now as a deficit. So, when I say I have 35 years of technology, sourcing, selection, and contract negotiations, you would think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Some people don't. People are seeing that as a deficit. And I think that's a shame. Like, we're losing all of the knowledge of those who have gained 33 decades of knowledge and experience are being passed over for people who have 10 years. And I'm like, 10 years? I have like notebooks that are older than 10 years.
Yeah, that's a baby.
That's a baby. Anyway,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the opposite can be held true as well. And I think we need to change that narrative.
we do. I saw a gentleman doing a podcast not that long ago, actually, and it was really actually fascinating his take on the whole thing because he was breaking down biologically, if you look at the lifespan of humans, what would be the reason for women living to the age that they do without having any sort of chance of reproducing or any of these things? And it's when you break it down biologically, the whole reason for us getting to this age past childbearing years and still continuing to live hopefully well into our 80s, possibly 90s or whatever,
100 for me.
is
Thank you.
from 100, okay, is to partake in the knowledge, like handing off the knowledge that we have gained to the generation
Yeah.
after us, right? And it's basically so that you can be not so much grandparents, but that sort of, because not everybody is going to be a grandparent, but that whole passing on of wisdom to younger people. And like you're saying, work experience. It's not just about family wisdom or life lessons. Work experience should be included in that. If you've gotten so good at your job that you are, indispensable in some cases, it shouldn't be a deficit that you have 35 years of experience in your field. That should 100% be a positive. I don't see how that would ever not come into, what is the word I'm looking for? But
Well,
it
why
should
wouldn't it be
always
seen
be a
as a positive?
positive.
Yeah.
Yes, it should
Yeah.
always be seen as a positive.
And I think this whole I think you're right. And if you think about this, the whole process of aging, how in many cultures, aging is seen as revered, being an
Yes.
elder and being knowledgeable and passing on that knowledge and the stories and history. You know, many elders are revered. Like to become an elder is what we're talking about, right? That
Yeah, it's an
sort of
honor.
right, yeah, the honor, the rite of passage, the gathering of knowledge. And it's unfortunate that we're getting away from that. I don't necessarily think personally, like families, I think still appreciate, getting older, their parents, their grandparents. Although I have to bring this up. Has anybody reached the point where your children are now treating you like you're their children and they're starting to
No,
No, not yet.
no. Uh-oh.
what a strange thing, I have to say. So as evidenced because I smashed up my knee, which is a whole other episode to talk about on another day.
Uh-huh.
I have this call me clumsy, but I fall sometimes. So Shannon has gotten to the point where now she's like worried about me and she's checking in
Oh.
on me. And the other day I got mad at her because she said something to me that implied that I was like forgetful and didn't remember stuff. And I'm like, hold on a minute. What the hell? Like, who do you think you're talking to here? I'm not 100. Like, give me a break. Anyway, that is a whole other conversation to get to the point where your children are now looking at you in a way that they feel like they need to take care of you.
Oh,
It's a
come
strange
on.
thing.
Yeah. The only thing close to that for me is the last time Evan was over and somebody sent me a text message and I opened my phone to read it. He looked over my shoulder at the font size on my phone and said, "Are you truly that blind? You're that blind." I said, "Yes, truly I am. Get over it. It's fine. I'm fine with it. You be fine with it."
Yeah.
But yeah, I would imagine they will start to worry about us at some point. But for now,
Well, that's good. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it. I think it's nice to have my kids worry about me, to care about me. Not that they've never cared about me. They have. But it's kind of nice, but it's also kind of disconcerting, right? Because it's sort of a role reversal
Yeah.
that was unexpected at my age. Like I'm not that old that you have to start worrying about me like getting lost. Like what the hell?
Yeah, if they start putting life alert signs around and stuff, or they get you, jewelry that looks suspiciously like it might call somebody, then I'd be, a little offended.
Nice
Crazy.
to have them looking out for you, though.
It
Yeah,
is. It
it
Really
is.
is.
is. Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky though. If we've got them phoning and checking in on us, and I mean, it's inevitable, right? Like it's just the way. That's the direction we're heading in.
Yes.
We're going that
Yes.
way. You know.
Scary. Well, I mean,
It is.
it's been a great conversation to talk about the positive things of aging, getting older, going through menopause, changes in our body. One thing we didn't talk about that I think is a very big positive is no more tampons, no
Oh,
more cramps.
yeah. True that. Yeah.
Praise the Lord. I'm
Yes, I
serious.
certainly don't miss that. I do
Oh
not miss it.
no,
Yeah.
no,
No
no.
more pregnancy tests, worrying that you're
Yeah.
pregnant.
No.
Yeah, that too.
So I have to tell you a funny story. So my oldest daughter works at a spa, and so I had set up a service to go get a facial on Friday. So as part of the process, you have to fill out this form to talk about your history, your skincare, etc. One of the questions was about pregnancy and breastfeeding, and I thought the question was, have you ever had pregnancy and breastfed? And I'm like, thinking this is a very strange question. So I said, yes. So I get to the spa, which is, of course, my daughter, and she says, Mom, why would you tell people you're pregnant and breastfeeding?
This is why they're calling you, Jill. They're checking on you. You just answered your own question.
So I get to the spa and she asked me, right? And I said, how do you know I said that I was pregnant and breastfeeding? She says, because she asked me if you were pregnant. And I said, hell no. And I said, how do you know I'm not pregnant and breastfeeding? And what right does she have to ask you if I am? What if I am and I don't want you to know?
Right.
She's like, Mom, that's never going to happen. So just for fun, I decide when I go get my facial, the girl who's doing it, lovely girl, her name is also Shannon, says, oh, your daughter told me that the form needed to be changed because of course you're not pregnant. And I said, actually, don't tell her, but I am. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, like you should never have said that because she doesn't know. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I said,
Oh my God.
I'm just
Jill.
kidding. I'm not pregnant. But thank you for thinking that I could be.
Yes.
And
Yes,
would that
that's a
not be the
compliment.
worst thing ever?
Oh, can you
That's
imagine being
fantastic.
pregnant at 59?
No.
No.
No. Hell no. Yeah. Grandkids are super fun, but I could not do a newborn again. I really couldn't. Do you remember
Yeah.
all that sleeplessness and getting up 3 times in the middle of the night to breastfeed and change and no, thank you.
There's another win for getting older. No more.
Another win. Yep. Yep, absolutely.
Ugh.
Yeah, and just becoming comfortable in your own old body, even if it is, falling apart at the seams some days. But yeah.
Just remember not to check the lactation box.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, ladies. I think our time is up. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Yes,
Jillian,
it
it's
has.
awesome to have you on the show. I
Well,
hope
thank
you'll
you
come
for
back.
having me. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this. Thank you, ladies.
Fantastic. All right. So, with that being said, thanks everyone for listening to this episode and for Jillian for joining us and for, of course, my co-host, Diane. Until next time, gigglers, keep on giggling.
Have a great night, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Giggles and Shit Show. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe on Substack at GigglesnShit.substack.com so you'll never miss an episode. You'll get all our content, podcasts, videos, and newsletter delivered right to your inbox. Join our chat to post your very own shit or hit list. We want to hear about the shit that's driving you crazy or making your week a hit. Come laugh, cry, and keep it real with us and our Gen X community.